guys, Jess here. I have another fun layout for you today, inspired by the sketch over at the Hip Kit Club Facebook group. As you can see, I just showed it there. And I am using this sketch to scrapbook some photos of my son playing in the first snow of 2020. It was a gorgeous day and warm and just a great day to be outside, and I got some really great photos of him, so here I am scrapping them. So I had already pre-pulled my papers. I have some papers that were in the 2017 December kit from Hip Kit Club, and then I also added a couple of close to my heart random sheets in there because the colors all matched really well. So I'm using a snowflake. It's a gray and white snowflake paper as my base, and then I am doing the ripped layers with this teal color snowflake design paper, which I think is from Pink Fresh Studio if I remember correctly. And then I use the a close to my heart, another smaller, I think it was a speckled or snowflake pattern layered in there as well that I'm just tearing now. So in the sketch we have torn layers on the top and on the bottom. So I wanted it to kind of look like snow mounds. That was kind of the look I was going for. So I picked out my color combinations and got them all torn up. And now I'm kind of getting ready to put those down to establish my base. And this was a really fun sketch. I find sketches, they're really fun for me, and I think that they are really great if you're like in a slump, a creative slump, and you're kind of really not sure like what you want to design or what you want to do. They're a great starting point, and I've been in a little bit of a creative slump lately, so I have been using a lot of sketches as inspiration, and it's just, I'm so thankful that people put their work out there to provide inspiration to, and I hope I do the same for others, because I find it so helpful to get wonderful ideas and techniques from. So thank you for the challenges as well, Hip Kit Club, because they really push me to expand my creativity. So anyway, so here we have, I'm putting on some double-sided tape and sticking down my torn pieces, my snow mounds, if you will. So I'm layering the lighter color underneath the darker teal snowflake paper design, and I kind of alternate them so they had different levels and crossed each other. It gives a depth, in my opinion, like you're looking in the distance a little bit. So I did this for both the bottom and the top, just like the sketch showed early on in the video that I posted. And then I decided to add another layer of texture here, which was tissue paper. So if you guys have seen a few of my process videos, you know I like to add tissue paper quite often to them. I love the texture that it brings. It's slightly transparent, it's soft. It just adds that little bit extra to a layout. So what I decided was to take some of this tissue paper and layer in amongst my torn pieces of paper. So again, it has like that snow look to it, snow vibe to it, and I thought it actually came out really, really nice. So I just took it in. I used my fine liner bottle with my quick dry tacky glue in it, which is a perfect situation for a tool like that, the glue like that. And I just literally tucked in the tissue paper in amongst that first layer of the torn paper, and I really loved how it came out. It does have that, I don't know, kind of that snow look. It's soft, it's visually interesting. I don't know, it really worked. So I'm very excited about that. So then I'm going back and adhering the top down a little bit more with some more of that quick dry glue, which literally it is quick dry. Probably less than, in about 30 seconds it's stuck down, which is awesome. But you have to be quick. If you're gonna tack anything down, you gotta be quick. So I have the bottom piece here, and I'm getting ready to do the top piece the same way. Again, double-sided tape. I'm using that more and more now. I find it a lot more inexpensive than a tape runner, and it adheres better. So I've stockpiled up on the double-sided tape. I don't know why it's taken me so long to discover it, but I'm late to the party. But I'm finally glad I have discovered double-sided tape, because it really is a game changer. And Tombos they're wonderful, but they're very expensive, and sometimes they don't stick as well. So I find that the double-sided tape really adheres nicely, and it's just as quick. So I'm going to do the same thing with this top layer, adding that tissue paper, because I was looking for the symmetry on both the bottom and top sides here. And I really love the colors. I was actually a little bit concerned in the beginning when I chose these papers, because the photos, as you can tell, are more of a real, like a royal blue tint to them, whereas the papers I chose are more of an aqua, like teal color. But in the end, it actually worked out very nicely, and I enjoy the color combination. So I've found that many times when I question a layout, I persist and I keep going forward anyway. And in the end, I usually, probably 99% of the time, end up loving it. And I'm glad I saw it through. So I encourage you to do that, because you probably will like the end result. Alright, so I got my ripped layers done. I'm just placing my photos just to get a sense of how it looks. And so now I'm going to add some mixed media in the background. Again, if you go back to the beginning when you saw the sketch, there was a little bit of a mixed media in the middle, and I'm trying to follow the sketch pretty close. I go a little bit overboard when it comes to the embellishments, per usual for me, but I do tend to go overboard with my embellishing, but that's okay. I really like it. I love the end result, and there's no shame in that game, right? The original sketch only showed, I think, a small little cluster in the bottom right-hand side. I did do a bit more than that, and that's okay. A sketch is generally a starting point. There's no rule that says that you have to follow it to a T. You certainly can by any means, but you also can go the complete opposite, and once you take a look at a sketch, it might just give you an idea and you're on a roll. So sketches are really fun, and they're a great resource. I use them quite a bit. Okay, back to the layout. I'm using some magical powders here that I got in a previous Hip Kit Club mixed media kit, and so they're a little pigment powder. They're very shimmery, that you mix with water or paint, and you get this beautiful shimmery result. So I mixed two of the colors together. I showed you them there on the video. One was more of like a royal blue, and the other was more of a teal, and they end up coming together and making the perfect color to match the paper. And so I did the packaging technique along with some splattering, and now my photos are going to lay right over that, so you won't see much of it, but the end result looks really nice. That's what I love about the mixed media, is that just little hints of it peek behind your image, and again, it's just that little extra that really adds a lot to a layout. So I am now matting my photos. I am using the Basil white textured cardstock. If you have not discovered Basil cardstock yet, you must try it out. It is amazing. The quality is excellent. It's very heavy duty, and the textured cardstock has like this linen texture to it, and it's really beautiful. And I absolutely love it for matting photos, but I've also used it as my base cardstock, and that texture it just adds another little visual interest element to the layout, and the quality again is just excellent. They do a textured, and they also do a smooth, and a wide variety of colors. So you can get it at scrapbook.com. It also comes in the Hip Kit Club cardstock kit if you choose to do that. So really great quality cardstock paper. So now I am mounting with some fun foam. I get this fun foam from well, I used to get it at Dollar General, but I haven't seen it lately. So I'm gonna have to find a new place, but it's adhesive on one side, and this stuff's great. Adds a little bit of dimension to lifting the photo ups just slightly, which I like to do quite often. So as you can see, I placed my photos, and I was like, oh, I need a little bit more media up in that corner so it actually shows. And that's just what I don't, I like to place a lot of my embellishments and stuff before I commit on a layout, just because I like to see how it looks, and I'm very indecisive and I move things around, as you guys probably have seen in my other videos. So I always check and see how things look and tweak them before I finally commit. So now I am going through the embellishments I have chosen for this layout. So I actually went through before I started this layout, and I picked out all my papers and all the embellishments I planned on using. So these embellishments are from a Creative Memories pack. I think Sugar Plum might be the name of it. It's retired now. They don't make it anymore, but it's where a lot of these trees and the cute little penguins and bears came from. And then I also used the embellishment pack from, I'm pretty sure it was one of the newer Hip Kit Club embellishments for December. I can't recall, actually, guys. I'm really sorry about that. But Hip Kit makes their own exclusive ephemera for their December kits, and I'm pretty sure the other pieces, like the bear and the other penguin, I pulled from that collection there, and they matched beautifully. It's so cute. I love the penguins. I love the trees. This layout just really came together. It was super fun. So here's my title. I've just plopped on there to get a sense of where it would go. I'm calling this Snow Play, which is what it was. We were playing in the snow. So I have two different types of thickers. I have a scripty or a cursive glittery thicker for the word play, and then a wood grain thicker for the word snow, which ties into, the wood grain kind of ties into the trunk of the trees. There's only one that's actually exposed, but I thought the wood grain kind of balanced it out, balanced the layout out nicely, because there was a lot of teal going on. So I wanted to introduce another color that wasn't overpowering, and I thought this did a really nice job. So now it's really just playing around with the title and the embellishments, which, as you will see here, I do a lot, hence why I don't stick things down immediately. I like to play with the placement and make sure that it looks good to me. When it comes to embellishing, I am very indecisive sometimes. There are moments, or there are layouts where I just know exactly what I want to do, and I can get them done in no time. I'll adhere things right away and commit, and then there are other times where I'm more indecisive, as in this layout, and I just keep adding things, taking them away, moving them around until I find the perfect placement. Excuse me. And that's okay too. There's nothing really wrong with that. It's just depending on my mood and how creative I am, and this one, the sketch really helped, but I still, I had all these components that I couldn't visualize how I was going to put them together. I think in the end, it came out really well. I'm so pleased with the end result of this layout. It's really fun, and I got to use a lot of embellishments that I've collected and haven't had a chance to use. So I've tapped into my stash too, which is really good. And I went out of my comfort zone a little bit with the glittery, scripty font for the title. And even though it's, my son, it's okay to toss in some glitter there. Because it's snow, and snow is kind of sparkly in amongst itself, especially when it first lands and it's fresh after the storm. And so I thought it was fitting. So I kind of got my title where I want it to be. I added a little banner on the bottom that says "Baby, it's cold outside," which was really cute, and the color was perfect. So it's just another little extra that I added in there. And now I'm pleased with the placement of everything. So I'm committing and pasting my trees down there. I've got some foam adhesive on the ones in the front. And I'm gluing everything down, just because I found in the past that, especially with thickers, They don't stick very well long term, so I've learned to glue those down. And then because I have mixed media on the back, I decided to be safe, I would glue the trees and the photos down, because again, just your normal tape or even double-sided tape when it comes to mixed media, it would stick down immediately but not long term. So I definitely recommend using glue whenever you can on your layout, because that means your layout's going to stick together in the long term, and you won't have pieces falling off in your sleeve. So I've got the cluster on the left done, and I'm working on the cluster on the right. So I kind of did the same thing. I glued the tree in the back flat, and then I popped up the tree in the front. Cute little tag that says Flurries of Fun, which I thought was adorable. Again, that was from the Hip Kit Club ephemera pack. And then once I get all these basic components down, that's when I start really getting indecisive. So this is kind of what I had planned in my head at the moment. And then I had all these extra pieces, and I was trying, as you'll start seeing here, trying to figure out if I could add them in anywhere. And as you can tell, first of all, this giant snowflake, I tried, it just wasn't happening. So it was a pretty color, but I couldn't fit it in anywhere. So I said goodbye to that, and then I had these two cute bears. One was a teal and one was a white. So I decided to go with the white and plop him in there on the left-hand side. He was too cute, and I think he just finished off that layer, that cluster layer on the left-hand side. And then bringing a little creature up to the top, I had this beautiful little bird that moves around a little bit because I couldn't figure out where I wanted him immediately. So I just kind of plopped him around, and then you go on to something else, and then I come back and move him, and he eventually finds a home. So now I'm looking at my finishing touches, which to me are your enamel dots, your puffy stickers, or gems, or anything along those lines. That's kind of like, in my mind, your final touch before your layer's finished. So I had some sticker sheets or thicker sheets from my hip kit that had these puffy circles with snowflakes on them. So I tried to add those in. I didn't love them. And then I went back, and they had some puffy stars that I was like, oh, let me try those. So I go, and I think that's what I'm doing right now, is coming back, and oh nope, the bird, I moved him again. He ends up living there though, and I liked him on the top corner. It finally worked out. So here are the puffy stars. So I decided to try and add some puffy stars here to see if, that added, if I liked the addition of that to it, and I didn't like it. I thought it was too much. So after the stars, I was just like, what do I do? It still needs to be finished. So I was going through my stuff. I did have some enamel dots and some gems, so I did do a couple little enamel dots, or gems, excuse me. I tried the enamel dots, they didn't work, but I did a couple of small gems on the middle of the snowflakes to help them give a little sparkle, and kind of to play on the sparkliness of the word play, kind of incorporate that. So I finished those. I tacked down the snowflake and the bird. There's his home, finally. And so I still felt like I needed to do a little something else on this layout. It didn't feel quite complete to me. So I go digging through my supplies, and I got to adhere the bear down too. So I had some few loose pieces that I needed to adhere. So I was trying to think about what can I do. So then I go and I pull out some stickles, which I haven't used in a long time on a layout. I have a nice collection of them, and I just never think to grab for them, but they're perfect in a situation like this. So I went through on all the pattern paper, and I just, in the center of the snowflakes, I just did a little dabble of the stickle. It's called Crystal, so it's very subtle, but it's a little sparkly. And so I just did it around random snowflakes, kind of around the center of the page where everything lived. And that really finished off the layout. And I'm so pleased with that little last touch. And we'll have the slow-mo overview here, or I'll slow it down and give you a close-up view. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this layout was inspiring. Really use those sketches to start your ideas and dive into that stash. And leave your comments below. I love feedback, and if you want to see more process videos, certainly let me know. And I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.